Welcome back to Kat's Kitchen. My name is Kat, and today I'm going to review the Keurig K-Café Barista Bar machine. This machine claims to make iced coffee, hot coffee, espresso. It's got a frother, so you can do hot or cold froth. And the main reason I bought it is because this one has a shot option claiming that you can make espresso with it. So what I want to know is, how good is the espresso? What does it look like? What does it look like in lattes compared to espresso from my Breville Barista espresso machine? We're gonna find that out today. So let's break open this baby and give it a try, see what it's all about. This video is not sponsored by any means. I bought this with my own money because I wanna see if it's a good option for espresso, or if my judgment is correct in thinking it's not good for espresso. But I want to let you know for sure, and I can't do that unless I try it out myself, you know? I did buy this off of Amazon. I do not remember how much it was. $140, I want to say. I'll put the price in the description. Take off all these pieces, and then I am just gonna rinse the tank and some of the parts, and then I'll come back. I'll be honest, Keurig is not my preferred choice of machine usually. I like my Breville. I use my Nespresso sometimes. I also have the Ninja Cafe Luxe, which was gifted to me recently, but I do very much like that one. This is the frother that comes with it. Again, this does hot froth or cold froth. So it's basically like cold foam if you wanted, you know, a cold foam on your beverage, or if you just kind of like a frothy vibe with your latte, awesome. Instead of steaming your milk hot and pouring that over ice, you just do a cold froth, which you can do with an electric frother like this, or you can just get a handheld milk frother for like $7 on Amazon. I'll link one in the description, and you just froth your milk that way if you choose. But I do like that they include it here in this machine. But this is what she looks like. Hello, beautiful. I have a black one, sleek design. Woo! Water tank. Comes out easily if you grab it. This is where you put the pods inside, and then this just plugs in to an outlet, and then looks like there's one button, and then there's two icons on it. I don't know if you'll even be able to see here. No, probably not. There's a cold icon and then a hot icon. So I'm not sure how you know which one's which. I probably could read the manual, but who has time for that? I am gonna use the Cafe Bustelo Espresso K-Cup. Pod is in, and I'm gonna push the shot option. It's telling me to add water. I did. Well, it does not want me to brew a shot. That's cool. I hate when things are not easy. All right, I just went through and cleaned, you know, the machine. It just says to put a cup underneath, run water through it. And so now I'm gonna pull a shot, or use the shot function. My stance coming into this today is Keurigs cannot make espresso because they just don't produce enough pressure to make espresso. Espresso is a type of coffee made by grinding coffee super duper finely, compacting it into like a super compact tight puck, and then pushing water at high pressures through those finely ground espresso beans, or those finely ground espresso grounds, to get a highly concentrated form of coffee. With Keurigs, usually you're just letting gravity do the work, similar to a coffee pot, right? You have not finely ground coffee, just ground coffee, somewhat coarse fine, and then you just let gravity do its thing. You put hot water over the top of the grounds, and gravity just brings the coffee into your cup. Not a lot of pressure going on, so you're not pushing the water through the grounds. It's not as finely ground, and you get a very different cup of coffee. Not bad, it's just different than espresso. So that's my stance coming into this today. I'm open to being proven wrong, But I really just want to see if this machine is a good option for at-home espresso drinks, or if there's some other options out there that I have talked about in the past: instant espresso, mocha pot, AeroPress, Nespresso, or espresso machine for making espresso at home. So let's see what we find out today. Taking a Cafe Bustelo pod because these are espresso style pods. This doesn't mean it's espresso. If you use this, pop in a pod, brew 8 ounces. That's not 8 ounces of espresso. It's just espresso style coffee or dark roast, very strong flavor, robust flavor coffee. But I am going to use Cafe Bustelo because it's the closest to espresso taste, potentially. Pod going in, drop her down. I don't actually know how many ounces are going to come out of this shot, so I need to have a backup cup prepared, but I'm going to push shot. I'm going to push shot on here. See what happens. Ooh, you know what? Whipping out the scale, baby. I'm going to, 1, see how much it weighs. 2, how long the extraction takes. Shot. Starting my timer at the same time. Let's see. They always sound like they're crying. I already see no crema. This looks just like regular old brewed coffee. First thing, no crema. Crema happens when you use high pressure to push the coffee deposits through. Just looks like a normal cup of coffee. Oh, the extraction time, I have no idea. Forgot to stop it. More than 30 seconds, I'll tell you that. And this is 60 grams of liquid, which is almost twice what ideally you want in like a double shot of espresso. So this is almost a quad shot of liquid. Oh man, it smells so bad. And it's hot as heck. I don't know, can you see the steam coming off of this? I don't want to taste it. Now I'm going to brew a double shot of espresso using my espresso machine so we can compare the difference between the shots. So I'm going to do that right quick and then we'll compare. All right, and just comparing the two, this is the Keurig one. This is the Breville espresso. Notice the beautiful layer of crema. I will say this is a dark roast coffee. This is a light roast coffee, but still look at the layer of crema. Beautiful. And let's weigh this. 35 grams versus this one was 60 grams. All right, so this is the layer of crema that I was talking about. And again, you can see like the different roast color. This is definitely darker, this is definitely lighter. Noticeable crema layer versus no crema. And then even like the amount of liquid in the cup. Right, you can see this one has much more. Okay, so what I wanted to show you and test out is how this tastes in a latte. So what I'm gonna do is just get this brown sugar cinnamon syrup, do 1 pump. I hate the pumps. Anyone that says they love the pumps is a crazy person, I hate them. But it's easier to like measure out. 1 pump of syrup in each cup. Then I'm gonna add, oh, this is hot, 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 hot. This cup's gonna break. I'm gonna add my espresso to each cup. And then I wanted to add equal amounts of milk. So let's do 4 ounces in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4 ounces exactly. And 4 ounces in the Keurig coffee. And I just kind of want to show you the difference in concentration. And looking at the color, can you see? This is the espresso, the Breville espresso shot, and this is the Keurig one. Colors are very, very, very similar. This one, even though it's a light roast, still looks darker. Doesn't it? Darker in color. This one looks more milky, even though it's a darker roast. And there was more liquid in the cup. Almost twice as much liquid in the cup. So if it was the proper amount of concentration, this one should have looked much, much, much darker. Let me get some ice and we'll taste test. So we can acknowledge that there's no crema, which is a big no-no in the espresso world, but we can look past it. We can look past it if it tastes okay. Again, noticeably lighter and milky in color, but the real test. Delicious and fabulous. Not at all terrible. Not terrible. It's not my favorite. It's not terrible. Noticeable differences, way darker, naturally. Dark roast versus light roast. I am team light roast when it comes to espresso. I should have bought light roast coffee pods, but I had medium roast, so I'm gonna give that a try too. This one just has a really nice smoothness, and you taste a lot more flavor notes. There's some caramely flavor, and it's not even a flavored coffee. It's just the flavor notes of the coffee. Some caramel, some sweetness, a little bit of chocolatey vibes. This one just tastes like there's coffee and milk together, you know? It's not bad. It's not my fave, but I will say, not a terrible option for an at-home latte. Not at all. It doesn't taste nearly as watered down as I expected it to, and it could be because I am using the Café Bustelo pods, but I'm a fan. I'm actually impressed with the machine and its ability to make an espresso-like shot. I would say it's very, very, very similar to what you would get with instant espresso, which it is cheaper, you don't have the pods, and you can make it just as quick or faster. Instant espresso being a powder that looks like this. Café Bustelo has an instant espresso option. It's a powder, you mix it with water, and you can make your espresso shots with it. I feel like the instant espresso option tastes identical to the Keurig shot option. So if you're wanting to save the dough and not buy a machine, instant espresso option would be fantastic. But if you have the machine and you're trying to make lattes with it, I don't think it's a bad option. I think it's a decent at-home espresso-like option. It's not quite espresso. You saw the difference in color, the difference in the crema, difference in flavor, difference in like overall latte color, taste, etc. But it's not bad if you are wanting to make more espresso-based drinks at home, but you also want to have hot coffee, iced coffee, milk frothing options. This is a great option, honestly. I will say with the espresso, you don't want to add too much milk. So maybe do 2 pods, go through the shot option twice, and then you can add 8 to 10 ounces of milk. But if not, I would do like the 4 ounces like I did today, and that was perfect. Any more than that, it would be too watered down, not enough coffee flavor for a latte, at least in my opinion. This is kind of what I expected. You know, I expected it to be watery. I expected it to not have any crema. I didn't expect it to be as close as it is in color. I thought it was gonna be a lot more milky than it is. And it could just be because of the pod that I used. If I use a medium roast, it might be a different story. But Café Bustelo for the win. I do like their coffee a lot. And just use a tiny amount of milk. I did 4 ounces of milk, which was almost a 1-to-1 ratio of coffee, espresso to milk. So 1-to-1 ratio, and it still looked this color, which is decent. If you're adding too much milk, it's not gonna look like this. It's gonna look a lot more milky. So just add less milk. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite. It does taste a lot like brewed coffee. A lot of the acidity that comes with brewed coffee. That one's clearly better, but I don't hate this one. Another thing I want to mention is the grind size comparison. So I'm going to take some of my espresso beans. Don't store them like this in a clear container. These are a little bit older. I just want to show you the grind size. Just adding a few to my hopper. And then we'll grind so we can compare ground espresso or ground coffee coming out of the Breville. They are gonna look different because they're different roasts. One's a darker roast, one's a light blonde roast. All right, so you can see this one here is a lighter roast, you know, obviously versus the darker roast. But look, when I pinch, what happens? You see how it's super duper fine and almost powdery and like sticks to my fingers, versus a much coarser grind. I mean, you can just see it right here. Super soft, sandy, almost powdery here on the right, versus the super duper coarse. You can see each little coffee bit and piece. It's nowhere near as powdery. And when I push it together, it doesn't stick at all on my fingers like this one does. So that's a huge, big difference in espresso. Is the grind size. I mean, they're night and day. They're night and day. All right, so now that we know that this Keurig machine can make decent espresso or decent strongly brewed coffee, I am gonna do another pod. I'm gonna try, I have the Starbucks Pike Place roast. I've had these forever. I'm gonna try a medium roast with this recipe, see if I like the flavor any more than a dark roast, because I do prefer a lighter to a medium roast for espresso. I'm gonna brew the pod and then we'll make a white mocha together, hot white mocha, just to show you some different drinks that you can make using the Keurig espresso. Popping the pod in, but before I brew it, add the Torani white chocolate sauce to my coffee mug. I do like a tablespoon or so, and then put the mug, and then I'm gonna do the shot option again. There's iced 12 ounce, 10 ounce, 8 ounce shot, add water, descale options on the Keurig. And then, bloop, bloop, boo, doop, 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 doop. Your girl has a mess. I don't like how much it splattered though. That splattered like every freaking where. Don't love that. And then in my little frotito, I'm gonna add some milk. Again, only like 4 ounces. I'm not trying to make a humongo drink here, but more importantly, I'm not trying to make it too watered down. So we're gonna do 4 ounces. Was that, this says 4 ounces exactly. 4 ounces. And then I'm just gonna plug this baby in and we'll froth the milk together. It might be hard to see on camera, but this shows a red light, meaning it's a hot froth. When you click it again, it shows the blue light, which means it's cold froth. And I'm laughing because my husband is colorblind. And so this would be very challenging for him to know which one was red and which one's blue. So I have to ask him if he can see the difference in color. I guarantee he's not gonna be able to. But there is 2 lights that will shine. One is blue, one is red to indicate cold or hot froth. We're doing the hot froth. I have my white chocolate sauce and my espresso together here, just giving it a quick little mix. All right, froth hath stopped. This thing does not get hot at all, so that's nice. This is gonna fall off the table though. Son of a gun. I might have just broken that. Whoopsies. I'll show you the froth action. It's a froth, it's not a steam, like a steamed milk. Steamed milk is gonna be less foamy and bubbly than this. You look how like thick this foam is. I mean, it's not bad, it's just not like ideal for a latte. You want more of a, like a velvety texture, not necessarily a frothy, airy texture like this, or foamy, airy texture. It's okay. This is definitely a milk frother, not a milk steamer. Steam wand steams the milk, pushes hot air into the milk, swirls it around to give it a real velvety, smooth, delicious steamed milk texture. This is a milk frother. It froths the milk, adds a little bit of heat, but not steam. And so that's why you get a really airy foam like this. The milk gets warm and then you have like a thick layer of foam. Not technically steamed milk, but still lovely for at-home beverages. Just gonna add in the frothed milk and all of that milk foam. And then always with the white mocha, you need to top with whipped cream. Starbucks baristas, take note. Almost every time I order a white mocha from Starbucks, they don't add whipped cream. I'm like, anyway, taste test. Delightful. Again, not a super complex espresso flavor. that ideally you would want in coffee, but I would drink this. This does not taste bad at all. And I think I actually like that pod more than the Bustelo. I like a medium roast. I don't think you need to get the Starbucks ones, but a medium roast pod like Pete's, what is it, Big Bang, that one, whatever, medium roast. This is delish. Key factor in this is I only used 4 ounces of milk. So again, don't use a ton of milk. You're not gonna be able to taste the coffee at all. This is a perfect amount. If you want a bigger coffee than this, I would do 2 pods. I would brew 2 pods, both at the shot function button, and then 8 ounces of milk. That's it. Hot white mocha. Delightful. I'm a fan. We also made an iced brown sugar cinnamon latte. Do I want to do an iced coffee? Let's do an iced coffee. Let's try an iced coffee. But she's had too much caffeine today. I don't like brewing hot liquid over ice, so I'm not gonna do that. I am going to brew a Pike Place pod into a cup, and then we will add that cup to a cup of ice. Pike Place pod going in. I like a medium roast for a coffee, like an iced coffee, and I'm gonna click the iced coffee button, the blue one. I think it brews hot. I'm not 100% sure though. We're learning together, so fun. Is this hot? Yep, it's definitely hot. Definitely boiling hot. Alrighty, I have my coffee that was brewed. It brewed hot, and it's only like 6 ounces of liquid. Not a lot of liquid. I don't know why there's so little liquid, but I have my cup full of ice. I fill it all the way up to the top to make sure it melts the least amount as possible. I mean, can you see how hot this is coming out of here? Hot. Pour this over the top. Always add a ton of ice. You can even add more to this if you want. And then this is my personal favorite creamer at the moment, the Chobani Pumpkin Spice. Got it from Target. I think it's delightful. Delightful for fall. Mix her up. And this is like an ideal iced coffee color for me. I think that looks pretty good. Let's give it a taste. And this is like almost a venti iced coffee. It's not terrible. Still tastes very dark and kind of burnt to me. So I would not use the Pike Place Starbucks. Starbucks just usually tastes burnt to me overall anyway. I would like to try some other medium roast K-Pods. If you have recommendations, let me know. Or if you have a favorite iced coffee option, but I think this tastes pretty good. It's a little too burnt, mostly because the Keurig gets so stinking hot, like you saw how hot it was, which is interesting to me that their iced function, because I'm clicking the iced function, has such hot coffee coming out, but usually iced coffee is just brewing hot coffee and combining it with ice. This is pretty good. I'd give this a 6 out of 10. I love this creamer though. I feel like it helps mask a lot of the funky taste. It's also just very, very acidic and like bitter. Again, if you have some medium roast or even light roast recommendations, let me know in the comments below so I can give them a try. But overall, I'm super impressed with this machine. For a Keurig, I have always been biased against Keurigs, saying that they, you know, can't make that great of coffee because they are limited in what they can do. And they generally are just like a glorified coffee pot, but you can still make very good tasting coffee at home with a Keurig machine. And I love that this particular one comes with the milk frother. I think that's a fun little function. So you can make hot beverages with hot frothed milk, or you can use it to make cold foam, or just add some texture to an iced coffee or an iced latte. I am impressed with the shot function, not necessarily that it makes great espresso, because it does not, but it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I really thought I was gonna hate it and be like, no, I don't recommend it. But if you're a Keurig lover or a Keurig owner, or Keurigs just work for your lifestyle, maybe your husband likes one kind of coffee, hot coffee, and you like espresso drinks, this is a very user-friendly, easy, affordable option. Use whatever pods you like. If you like a lighter roast espresso, I would recommend a lighter roast pod, either light or medium. Pop that in, push a shot button, and then do, like I said, basically a 1-to-1 ratio of espresso to milk if you're making a latte. So like I did the 4 ounces of milk for the brown sugar cinnamon latte and the white mocha. 1-to-1 ratio. If you do 2 pods with the shot function both times, then you can do 8 ounces of milk. And I think that would be perfectly fine. And for the iced coffee, it does taste a little burnt, a little bitter, a little acidic, which can be characteristic of iced coffee in general. If you get a good creamer that you really like, I think that would be awesome. You can even use the Torani syrups in here, do a couple pumps, and then add heavy cream, oat milk, half and half, whatever milk or dairy option you like best. And that wouldn't be bad either. For easy, simple iced coffee, I think this tastes pretty good. And I definitely think other people would enjoy it too. If you like iced coffee from Starbucks, this tastes a lot like it. So overall, would I say this is the best espresso option at home? Absolutely not. You saw the differences in espresso with the espresso that came out of the Keurig versus my Breville espresso machine. But for the price point, the ease of use, I do think this is a pretty decent machine to have at home. And if you have this machine already or a Keurig with a shot option, I hope this video showed you a couple tips that you can use to improve your latte making experience at home. If you have any questions about the machine or making different coffees at home, let me know in the comments below. And if you have this machine, let me know your thoughts about it too. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Mwah! Got a blast.